Hey guys. So for today's shave, I am revisiting the open comb Tatara Masamune razor. Having gotten the handle in from Tatara, if you watched the previous use of this, you'll remember that I told you that the handle I think had been dropped, and the tiny little collar at the top of the handle where it inserts up through the base plate and all that had become bent, and so it messed up the whole system. I guess that's what can happen. It's kind of a weakness of the razor, to be honest with you. Standard handles that just screw in and touch the bottom instead of going through it obviously aren't going to have that kind of an issue. All right, but that surprised me that time because of the solidity, the firmness of the way it held the blade, and it beat out easily the solid bar. We'll get into that more in just a minute. Also, I gave a nice long soak today, a few hours, to the Zenith brush here, the B23, which is still remaining quite firm in the backbone, although the tips are still very soft, and so that makes it an enjoyable brush. But it is definitely something I look forward to seeing change in the future so that we can get a easier splay, a little bit more comfort there. And I'm sure it's coming. All right. So today we are going to put a nice reliable blade in that razor. And so we'll do a PolSilver. And then we're going to try a new soap today. This came in, no, it didn't come in a lot. It was just one I saw online for not a lot of money, and so I picked it up. And then I discover a couple of really cool things about it, and we'll talk about that. So let's, it's been used, looks like a couple of times. It is a 5-ounce tub, and even full retail value seems to be a little over $11 and not much more than that, I believe, online. And so that is remarkable for 5 ounces of soap. That's terrific. So the cost seems to be really good. Okay, while we're at it here, let's show you. So here is the open comb, the solid bar Masamune head. Now normally, when you compare a solid bar with the open comb, you get a smoother shave with the solid bar. I discovered the opposite was true with this razor. And I assume it's because of what I'm about to show you. If you look carefully, look at this bevel right here. We've got the main flat part here in the open comb, and then there's a bevel. If I angle it right, you can hopefully see the light. There's a bevel. Now, you've got the same wide part here, and you've got the same bevel right here, but look, they've cut away part of the bevel to make the slot. And so that means that for this whole length of the slot, the blade is supported from the bottom about 3 millimeters or so back from the edge when compared to this guy. So I believe that is why it's making the open comb the smoother, more consistent shaver, less audio, that sort of thing. Now that's neither good nor bad, right? Because you could be a person who really values a little bit of audio, and that is totally fine. You could value that kind of the flexing of the blade and that sort of thing. And so then, in that case, you would want to do the opposite from me and enjoy the solid bar. Whereas I like a firm blade, I like a consistent, smooth shave with low volume because of those factors. And so this open comb transformed the Tatara Masamune system into one that I look forward to using again. The scrapiness of the solid bar made me think, well, it's great to try it. I'll try a few blades in it and show it to you guys so that hopefully we spread the word about what kind of a razor it is so that people can make informed decisions as I put loading up the blade in the top cap here. And great, and then I'll pass it on to somebody else, who is more geared toward that type of razor. Nothing wrong with that. Then I tried the open comb, and that that changed everything. All right, do we have a good... No, it's not. Something is not quite right. Let me take a look at what I have here. I was fooling around with it. Oh, yeah, no, I know this is the Masamune top cap because it doesn't have some threading right there. So, oh, there we go. I'll bet the blade was actually blocking it. No? Let me pause you and check it out. Nope, everything was good. It just took quite a bit of force to bring everything together in the locked kind of position. Because previously when I used this, this is the Masamune open comb, because it doesn't say Masamune, but it also doesn't say Nadachi. So I assume it's in the original kind of format. It does have a number 267. So I assume that's part of the original run, which was only the Masamune, because the Nadachi came later. And then we know this is the Masamune top cap because there is some unthreaded portion to the bolt that comes down from the top cap. And of course we know this is the Masamune handle. All right. The razor's in place, so let me get my face wet. And what I meant was the blade was in place. I don't want to get my hands wet, getting my face wet, and then have to deal with a paper envelope, which is where that line of reasoning was going. All right, so 5 ounces of soap, pretty cool for an inexpensive price, a little bit less than sterling actually. It does have things like mango butter, shea butter, cocoa butter, coconut oil. Now there are some people who look, it's got stearic acid, aloe vera juice. Some people look at coconut oil, and if a shave soap has that, then they don't want to shave with it. And that's fine, because you do have a lot of other soaps out there who don't use that as a big ingredient. But I don't care at this point. I'm not going to be that snooty. All right, so let's do my typical 30-second load. Just see how that does with this soap. And I'll tilt you down, make it easier for me and you. All right, 30 seconds. Start that in 2, 1, we'll go to 40. So I think Greg was the guy's name. I did a little bit of reading on the retail site. They told a little bit of his story. He wanted to create a soap that his friends could turn to instead of the big box shaving soaps. And so he created the Central Texas, and he enjoyed doing it. And this is his sandalwood scent, of course. And that is 30 seconds. And yeah, this is kind of airy, and that may be what the coconut oil brings to the table. It's not like some of the newer bases that don't use very much, if any, coconut oil, but so a lot of the old bases did, and so they brought certain kinds of attributes to the shave experience, and I think it was it works. It's just perhaps not as luxurious feeling as some of the other the newer stuff. This sandalwood scent that he created had another purpose, in that he wanted a sandalwood that wasn't a solo note product. And so he added a little bit of amber and musk to it as well, is what the description said. So I believe I'm able to pull out the sandalwood and the musk, and I really like that. I like the fact that the amber is not as strong of a note. The only thing I don't like about it is you really have to dive your nose into the puck or into the bowl to be able to smell it. And even on the retail site, a few of the comments mentioned that it was a mild scent. So that tells me that if this puck is mild, then it's not because the guy left it open for too long, you know, that sort of thing. So we just put in 1 teaspoon, mix it around a little bit. We'll put in another. Do I have a prescribed amount of water that I'm going for? Nope. Just kind of go until it's right. It's a really nice scent. I'm a big Sandalwood fan. And this, depending on this shave, how the lather goes, this could be a very good soap to recommend for new folks, along with something like Sterling, because if it performs well at such a low cost, then that's a big win. Additionally, with the fragrance oils being minimal, which are causing the low scent strength, then it may be unfortunate for my nose to enjoy it, but it's good for people with sensitive skin, that sort of thing. Well, as you can see, the lather's relaxing. It's smooth and creamy looking, kind of a marshmallow cream, melted marshmallow cream type texture. So that's telling me good things. Now there's some of those types of soaps that need to be run a little drier than usual, and I wonder if it's that coconut oil type base. This is nice and slick. It's a light, oily kind of slickness, which I'm very cool with. It doesn't seem to leave my fingers as I pass over it. I can come back and it's still there. So that's good. Let's add just a little bit more water. Let's just kind of look at the viscosity. Hey, that's pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and try this. With some of my better soaps that I can really push tons of water in, this is still a little bit too dry, but let's just try it out, see what happens. Get my face wet. And on with the lather. I did look over my aftershaves, and I picked Proraso Red to be my aftershave since we're doing a Sandalwood. I thought if this one is kind of weak in the bathroom, then we can bring out the Proraso at the end. Will definitely give me nice Sandalwood goodness. I normally don't throw a lot of support toward Proraso because at American prices, I think their soaps are just really mediocre. In Europe, it's just a couple of euros, and it's available everywhere, and I think that's a good price for it. But in America, there are just too many soaps that are better for the same cost. This is pretty nice. This knot is a bit of a chore display at this point, but the tips are reasonably soft. The couple hour soak didn't do any kind of magic on it, but I think over time that might help it. But he's still, what, 16 uses or something like that, so he's still young. This is definitely drier than I usually work with. All right, Masamune, let's see how it goes. Still hearing a little bit of audio, but that's all right. Not much. It's a good feel. It's cutting through the hairs nicely. And it's not really a scrapey kind of feel. It's just a consistent cutting. I'm thinking if this lather was a little bit slicker, I'd probably be getting a little bit better feel. Meaning that I probably should have put a little bit more water into it. All right. There we go. See how everything feels on my face here. It's a nice slick lather, yeah. Could be better though. Add more water next time. But nice cut. I do not have a lot of stubble hanging out right now. First pass did a really good job. So I have rinsed. Nice feel during the rinse. So it seems to be a good soap base. It's tough to get the scent. It is mild, but you do get it when you stick your nose into it. I added a teaspoon of water to the bowl to help the lather to get a little slicker. Lay down that thin pass, and the 30-second load with this brush, I mean, it's got a lot of backbone, has produced plenty of lather. So that's cool. So it's economical. What's the word I like to use? I think it starts with a C. Conservative. Maybe economical. It's a good use of the soap. You don't have to use a lot of soap to get a good amount of lather, you know. Yeah, that was a better experience. Now, if you start in one area, move across, kind of finish the pass, and you want to go back over that other area, I would re-lather, or at the very least, get a little water and then do it to kind of reactivate the thin layer of soap that's probably still there. There doesn't appear to be tons of residual slickness, but I think there's plenty. I think there's a fine amount, a reasonable amount. It's just that there are some other soaps out there who have an excess of residual slickness. Again, with that pass, as I think about the scent, not really remembering much. So let's try again. So this could fall under the category of the stubble buster type soaps, which are a great deal. Wonderful performance by the same makers of Chiseled Face, Grumatorium folks. Yeah, very, very light, like 2 out of 10 in terms of strength. Just barely smell it. Now, of course, I use less soap than a lot of people, so if you're a person who's a face lather and you like to load up with a lot of concentrate, maybe you're using about 1.5 grams per shave. I've heard some guys throw that value around. I use with Chiseled Face and Sterling about half a gram, 0.4 grams per shave. And so that means also the scent content, the strength of the scent is going to be a little bit less for me. This does feel pretty comfy. It's a nice open comb. It goes against that stereotype of open combs always being aggressive. I think this is a medium aggression. It's not mild, but it's a nice firm medium. It's not a flexy medium where the blade is moving as it goes across your face in terms of a microscopic level, that, and you can tell it's not doing that because it's not making audio like some of the other razors do. Let's take a little bit of stuff from the bowl, and then we're going to go the other direction here. Pretty good match. It's possible that another blade might feel smoother with this razor, with this setup. The lather feels really nice as I'm moving around on my face, and just kind of, I almost feel like I'm using it like a massage oil or something. It's not oily in feeling, but it's nice and slick. It's an enjoyable type of feeling. I've definitely found that low scent strength with some makers is characteristic. While I'm holding this up, let me quit talking about the other thing. Proraso Red is the aftershave today. Now they don't call it Proraso Red, they call it what? They don't even tell you on the front. It's got shea oil and sandalwood oil. Something like refreshing and something. I can't, they all have like two descriptive words to it instead of calling it red or blue or green. And there's a good sandalwood scent right there. That's the way sandalwood should be, at least in terms of scent strength especially. And I like the blend here of the sandalwood. So what I was saying was that some makers like Stubble Buster, I tried a few of their soaps and they were all almost unscented to my nose. And that was just typical of that brand. That's what they were trying to do. They were trying not to offend people's sensitivities if people had allergies or things like that, sensitive skin. And there are other makers that are kind of in that line. Southern Witchcrafts is on the opposite spectrum. Barrister and Mann is kind of with them, where they have pretty bold scent strength that you're able to just really enjoy during the shave. In the medium to slightly above medium level. And so I do gravitate toward those brands. Declaration Grooming also is usually, it depends on the scent, it's usually pretty strong on those kind of high character scents that with a lot of dynamism that I enjoy, like Dark Fall and that sort of thing. They did do Sell Out and Taxes that is a little easier on the nose, a little more mild. All right, well, that's a wonderful sandalwood scent. Let's take a look at the closeness of the shave. Yep, I'm very happy with that. It didn't do amazing, but I'm cool with that. I didn't really see any tips with any length, and since I don't go against the grain, that's pretty good. That's really good. I'm happy with that. It's rare to have it get any better, really. So, a wonderful scent. I love the idea of sandalwood and musk, and apparently if you want to throw in a little amber, it's okay, but the amber is not really noticeable. But when everything's so quiet, not much is noticeable anyway. And the aftershave I've got on is definitely overpowering the soap. So yeah, I'll definitely consider recommending this when I'm talking to new users, that sort of thing, because the performance is good. The scents are probably nice, and as long as I'll recommend it with Stubble Buster as well, and of course Sterling too. Sterling performs a little better than this, but this is nice. And I might email the creator. At one point he had an Etsy page. I'll check that out and see if I can get a response in terms of the strength of the other types of soaps that he has, because I'd love to be able to maybe find another one that he has that may have a little more scent strength to it. So looks like a good company, good soap base with Central Texas soaps. We did use, and I did like that last bit of lather better, then I added more water to, and we used 4.5 teaspoons for this lather. And after 3 passes, I still have 2 passes of lather in here. So that kind of ended up to be about right. So pretty nice. And it did, I mean, it looks very elastic. And that's nice. That's pretty good. It has gotten a little bit bubbly, but that's, you don't feel it during the shave. It doesn't feel airy in the shave. It's fine. Just kind of comparing the lather here. It does have a light feel to it after I hydrated it, more. And so there are definitely soaps that are slicker. The first pass that I had, where it was more dense and drier, had better slickness, but it felt drier on my face. This one has more water. You can feel the wet nature of it, but you can see you might be able to see the little air bubbles kind of everywhere. And so it's providing a light furry kind of slickness that's not really buttery or oily or really soapy. But it functions on the face. And there's several that are kind of like that have this kind of same feel. But they work. They don't feel luxury when you're holding them in your hand, but they work on the face pretty well. So yeah, a little bit lower than Sterling in terms of lather quality, but very nice. I'm happy with it. You know why I'm happy with it? Sometimes I'm pretty harsh with soaps, because this is the same performance that I kind of got from Gentleman's Nod. Almost $30 per tub, probably 4 ounces instead of this, which is 5 ounces. And so I'm harsh on them because I'm harsh on that evaluation because I got $12 performance, but they want me to pay $27 for it. Whereas this one I got the performance of an inexpensive soap. And this was an inexpensive soap. So it's exactly appropriate. Fair's fair, right? All right. Well, happy with my first trial with Central Texas soaps. The B23 brush has been stropped and towel dried. And he's pretty easy to flex when he's doing my fingers, when I'm using my fingers here, but he's pretty resistant on my face at this point. Like I said, he's still young. We'll let him air out. Keep using him every once in a while. And I can tell he's widening out just gradually. And I'm fine with that. The Masamune did well. I believe I've got other blades that work a little better with it, but this was a nice, a reasonable shave with it. Pretty comfy. Just wasn't super comfy, but I got a nice close shave out of it. Almost baby butt smooth, and so I'm happy there too. And there we go. Mike Rose is a commenter that I often interact with in the YouTube comments, and he just recently got in Mike's Natural Barbershop. And Mike's Natural is one of those, and these are kind of his words, one of those OG, kind of one of the guys who's been around for quite a while. And I'm glad he's still making his soaps. It's fairly inexpensive, and they're natural. They don't have any preservatives or weirdness in it. Performance is very good. And I just haven't used it in too long. And so he just got in some barbershop, and he said he was going to try it tonight. My video is going to be delayed 1 or 2 days just because of the way I do things. And so he will have already tried it and used it. So Mike, looking forward to a report on your Mike's Naturals. I've got 1 or 2 of Mike's Natural soaps, and so I'll definitely try to hunt one up and bring it soon. I did have one go bad, and that may be it really went kind of rancid, and that may just be because it wasn't used for too long. It wasn't used for a long time, and because he uses natural ingredients, sometimes that just happens. So if you get a puck of a tin of Mike's Natural soap, make sure you have it on your rotation on a regular basis so that you can use it up before it goes bad. All right, I think we're good. I'm really enjoying, man. I really enjoy the Proraso red. Man, I like it. Feels good on my face. Not very much sting this shave, so good there. Feels good on my face, and love the scent. And I think we're good. I think there we go. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves, and I sure hope that this video has some good information for you, something to help you out, even if it's maybe just a little bit of entertainment value. All right, guys, take care. Good night.